the process of remigration and the process of like denaturalization. That is precisely what happened with the Holocaust as well. But here it is. The United States Holocaust Memorial Museum defines the years of the Holocaust as 1933 to 1945. The Holocaust era began in January 1933 when Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party came into power in Germany. It ended in May 1945 when the Allied powers defeated Nazi Germany in World War II. The Holocaust is also sometimes referred to as the Shoah, the Hebrew word for catastrophe. Ironically enough, Nakba is the Arabic word for catastrophe, and it is the word referencing 1948, which is when the Zionist brigades conducted an ethnic cleansing campaign and an ethnic displacement operation of 750,000 Palestinians, which was also the steps taken to create the nation state of Israel. That is a separate point. Getting back to it, when they came into power in Germany, the Nazis did not immediately start to carry out the mass murder of Jews. However, they quickly began using the government to target and exclude Jews from German society. Among other anti-Semitic measures, the Nazi Germany regime enacted discriminatory laws and organized violence targeting Germany's Jews. The Nazi persecution of Jews became increasingly radical between 1933 and 1945. This radicalization culminated in a plan that the Nazi leaders referred to as the final solution to the Jewish question. The first part of that is to create the Jewish question, to look at all of the existing economic anxieties and economic tumult that was in place in German society, and then immediately redirect all of that enmity towards Jews. There is the Jewish question. You create the Jewish question, and then, of course, when you create the Jewish question, which is asking society why you feel so angry and resentful. Oh, it's because Jews control the money. It's because Jews control the media. It's because Jews control academia. So once you create the Jewish question, then you have to have a solution for it. And the solution is the final solution. What is the final solution? The ethnic cleansing and whole-scale slaughter of all of the Jews in the concentration camps and the death camps. That is how the Holocaust happened, okay? The final solution was the organized and systematic mass murder of European Jews. It did not happen overnight. It took 10 plus years. The enmity was pre-existing. The enmity already existed. It was greatly intensified post-World War I. The enmity towards Jews already existed in historic Christian societies to begin with. And this is how it led to the Holocaust. A lot of people do not have the capacity to understand that the reason why we know about this and the reason why we cover it, the reason why we learn about this, is because it is considered the crime above all crimes, the worst possible crime possible. Okay? Genocide, ethnic cleansing. It is the worst crime. It is the worst crime imaginable. The reason why people learn about it, the reason why we all know that this is an immoral, morally repugnant position, is so that we understand, we recognize how societies move in this direction, and then we hope that we'll never repeat it again. However, a lot of people literally look at this indescribable evil and say, well, it hasn't gotten to that point yet. They haven't killed 6 million Palestinians yet, so I guess it's not the same, right? Because they're stupid. Black slavery was bad too. Yes, chattel slavery and the Nazi regime and the Holocaust are the two things that most historians across the board will directly say is evil, okay? Chattel slavery in its practice was unique. It was uniquely cruel. It was uniquely evil. It was more evil than every other historic form of slavery, okay? Straight up, which is precisely the reason why most historians, while most historians won't actually offer any sort of like determination and simply just repeat and simply just explain events of history, the Holocaust and chattel slavery are the two things that most historians will openly say is really fucked up. This does not mean that there aren't also additionally cruel practices that even Germany and Belgium and many other European countries engaged in Africa and the African continent that would be akin to the Holocaust. Absolutely. Having said that, those are the two things that people recognize as like deeply, deeply immoral. Historians even. Why am I talking about this early? It's not even 11. It just turned 11:09 and I'm already talking about the Holocaust. Well, it's because we are in it, okay? We are in the early stages of America's Nazi regime. And just like the Nazis hosted the Olympics in 1936, we are also going to be hosting the fucking World Cup in the United States of America. History oftentimes doesn't immediately repeat itself, but it often rhymes. However, in this circumstance, it is quite literally fucking repeating itself. So the Olympics and the World Cup, exactly. Another place that hosted the World Cup was Argentina. During the military junta and its disappearance regime in Argentina, they literally a fucking mile down the road from one of the largest political dissident prisoner, one of the largest prisons for political dissidents. Argentina was hosting the fucking World Cup a mile down the road. You know, what a time to be alive. Junta, sorry, not junta. Junta.